I heard if you guys drop a like and subscribe to the channel with those notifications turned on as fast as you can, you'll get the best luck you've ever had in your entire life. What is up, guys? My name is Nick and welcome back to another Call of Duty Warzone video. Today we're going to be talking about the best controller settings that nobody really utilizes within the game. Now these are settings that will literally help you aim better, get kills faster, and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's in the game, but people just don't use these settings, and I'm going to go into complete detail about these, and to whatever fits your playstyle is definitely the settings you guys should definitely have on. And before we get into it, guys, if you could leave a comment down below letting me know what sensitivity you play on in Call of Duty Warzone, not the multiplayer part, in the Warzone part, what sensitivity do you play on? I notice that I play a lot lower. I usually play on a 7 and 7 when playing Warzone, and on multiplayer I play somewhere near a 10, and the reason for this is because you get those super long shots, and I just don't like aiming and losing accuracy and all that kind of stuff. But we're gonna get into it, guys, and I want to say before we start, I am a PlayStation 4 player. I do play with a PlayStation 4 controller, and the controller that I have is the one that came with the PlayStation 4. I don't have any extra controllers. I don't have anything like that. I literally just use the base controller, but I do have a control freak on my controller, which is something that you attach onto the analog sticks, and it does help you aim a lot easier. And if you guys want to get yourself a pair, use code iDoNick for 10% off. That'll save you a bunch. But let's get into these settings. Now I have a video up about all the other settings, which I'm not going to talk about today, and you guys can check that out. It's audio settings and all that kind of stuff. But I do want to say, before we get into the aim assist and all that kind of stuff, the first thing I want to mention is something about the audio. And if you're using a headset, you definitely want to go ahead and put your audio on boost high. And the reason for this is because you could hear the footsteps a lot louder. Now if you're not using a headset and you're just listening out of your TV or your monitor or something, you want to put it to boost low. That's going to help you guys hear a lot of stuff better as well. This will help you hear footsteps, gunshots, everything a lot easier. And the last thing that I want to mention is that you should always have your minimap on square. Do not keep it on round, put it to square every single time. You can see more of the minimap, more of the action, and you can pretty much see where more enemies are at all times. Now let's get into actually talking about the controller settings, because these are very important, and I'm going to talk about it in a way that I don't see a lot of other YouTubers talking about it. So we're going to go into the aim assist, and I'm going to explain every single one in about as if I was 5 years old trying to explain something to someone. It's going to be a lot easier for you guys to understand this way. And yeah, no one really talks about the 3 different types of aim assist. There's focus, there's precision, and there's standard. Now people say, oh well, the focus is if you already have really good aim, precision is if blah 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 whatever, and standard is like every other COD. But I'm not here to say that. I'm going to tell you guys literally what every single one is like. So focus, this is if you're new to FPS games. This is if you're super new to FPS games and you're not good at aiming or anything using a joystick. This is super sticky. So what it means is, once you're actually aiming at someone, it's going to try and stick to them as much as it possibly can. Your gun is going to try to stick to them like a magnet, if you will. Now this really helps you stay on target. It feels a lot like a magnet, and the closer you aim to the enemy, the stronger the magnet becomes. So if you're aiming just 1 inch off the guy, it's going to try and get you on target without you needing to do any of the work yourself. So that's really good. That's amazing if you're someone who has never played with a controller, or if you just suck using controllers. This will help you out a lot. Now they have precision also, and this is the least stickiest type of aim assist, if you will, the least magnetic aim assist. This is good if you're extremely accurate already. If you could aim down sights and completely aim on target every single time, this will help you out a lot, because once you actually stay on target, it's going to keep you on target. Once you aim at the target, it's going to try and keep you there without moving around and stuff like that. So this is really good, especially if the enemies are trying to run away. You could glue on them pretty much and stay shooting at them. So this is really good. And the last one is standard, and this is exactly like the way aim assist works in previous CODs, so there's no difference to that. Now standard is the one that I would recommend when actually playing Warzone, because when you get to those longer distance shots, you don't want it to glue on the target. You really don't want that. You want to aim further than where the target is. You also want to aim higher than where the target is. So this is actually the better one that you want to use. If you use precision and you stick to the target, you're going to be missing bullets because of the bullet drop. The bullets will not actually hit the target the further they are. You have to aim higher and further than where the enemy is. So standard is probably the best one, and like I said, pair this up with control freaks, use code iDoNick for 10% off, and you guys are gonna be doing really damn good. Now the button layout, this is super important, and it really changes depending on the console you're playing on. If you're on PlayStation and Xbox, or PC, there's something different that you want to do. And when I say PC, I mean PC players using a controller. Now, I'll talk about PlayStation first, but I do want to mention that even if you're an Xbox player or PC player, listen to the PS4 settings, because all but one thing is literally exactly the same. So on PlayStation 4, Xbox, and PC, you want to make sure that you set it to either stick and move or bumper ping. This is really good for your button layout. Now, the stick and move, it allows you to jump using R3, the right joystick, while knifing is now the X button, and I believe on Xbox it's probably the Y button or anything like that. So, or I think it's still X. Actually, I think it's still X. I'm not sure. Now, this means you guys could jump shot a lot of the enemies without having to move your thumb off the joystick at all, and this is actually really good because you could aim at the enemies while jumping and making yourself a harder target to hit. So this is really, really good. Now, this really helps stay on target as well. If you're jumping, you don't have to move your thumb, press X, and then go back to the joystick. You could aim at them during your whole entire jump, and this is really good. Now, it also really, something that's really helpful that I want to mention is to put it on flipped. You want to flip it every single time your controls, and the reason, or your button layout, I should say, and the reason you want to do this is so that you could shoot with L1 and R1 rather than shooting with L2 and R2. Now, this is only for PlayStation. You could do it on Xbox, but this is where I say they kind of differ. If you do it on Xbox, it feels very uncomfortable, and it might take some time to get used to it. It just doesn't ever feel comfortable. I played Xbox for a year, and it didn't feel right whatsoever, and when I went back to PlayStation, L1 and R1 are the buttons I used to shoot all the time. And now, I'm gonna say, even on PlayStation, it will take a few days to get used to, but this is actually really good. You want to get used to that. You could aim in a lot faster, you could start shooting a lot faster, and I know it's only milliseconds faster, but in COD, milliseconds equates to a few bullets, which is a huge factor in winning or losing gunfights. So make sure you flip that as well. And on Xbox and PC, depending on the controller you're using, if you're using an Xbox controller, don't flip it. If you're using a controller that's similar to the PlayStation 4 controller, go ahead and flip it. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Now, controller vibration should always be off. Seriously, like literally always turn it off. It could mess up with your aim a bit. While your hands are shaking while you're in a gunfight at further distances, your hands, you can't control the shake. It's literally vibrating in your hands, and yeah, it might feel more realistic, but it really doesn't help at all. Now, turning it off will feel super duper Rupert Cooper uncomfortable for like a day or two, and once you get used to it, you're never gonna want to turn it on again, guys. Trust me, I've had mine off ever since I think Black Ops 3, and I've never looked back. I don't ever want to turn on controller vibration ever again. It just doesn't feel good, and I aim a lot better without it, and I hope you guys could start doing that too and notice that you actually aim a lot better as well. Now, sensitivity, we're going to talk about the ADS sensitivity and the regular sensitivity, because this is super important as well. Now, your sensitivity should never be at the maximum unless you're one of those freak players who could actually do it, and if you could play on 2020 and still do really good, I want to give you mad props, because I can't. It's way too crazy for me. Now, I also want to mention that you should never have it at the lowest or at like 2 or something like that, because then you'll never be able to turn on enemies if you start getting shot at from the side or the back or anything like that. You have no time to turn. Your character is going to do the animation really slow, and nothing is going to come out. Now, I always recommend a low sensitivity to a medium sensitivity. So anywhere from 4 to 6 would be a low, and then I say medium is anywhere from like 8 to 13. If you could play on anywhere between those sensitivities, you should be really good, and you should actually be doing good as well, and this will help you out a lot. Now, this game also has ADS sensitivity, and I recommend lowering this below 1.00, which is what it's defaulted at. Now, if you play a bit at a lower number, your accuracy while aiming down sights is going to be a lot better. So I recommend anywhere from 0.80 to 0.95. This really helps out a lot, and it kind of feels like cheating. Let's be honest, the further they get. Now, the last controller setting that I want to talk about is the button tap setting, and this one here is actually really cool. I like this a lot. So the default will allow you to reload normally with square on PlayStation, and I think it's Y on Xbox, and this is perfect for multiplayer. You shouldn't change it at all. The default is what you want to play on multiplayer, but the contextual tap is what you want to use within Battle Royale, within Warzone. This allows you guys to use the same square button to reload, but it also allows you to use that square button to pick up weapons or money on the ground, to open crates, and to go to the buy station. You don't have to hold it. You literally just press it, and everything is just so much faster to interact with. And if you want to reload your gun while there's a crate right in front of you and you don't want to open the crate, all you got to do is hold the square button. So that is it for the settings, guys, the controller settings. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here with those notifications turned on. If we could get 1,500 likes on this video, that would be amazing. So just go smash the hell out of that like button and let me know your sensitivity down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. watching. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.